Hey, thanks, Ron. I appreciate it. I want to start out with, I want to thank Ron LeGrand students personally. My name is Nathan Long. I'm the president of Quest Trust Company. We hold self-directed IRAs that hold private assets, okay? So, and I think that most of you, how many of you guys have heard of us? Like the whole room, right? Last year, Ron LeGrand funded $30 million of IRAs through Quest IRA. These were not like we were out buying $1 million properties. You got what I'm saying. Some of this stuff was, $20,000 properties in Mississippi and Pasadena and all types of stuff. You guys did a great job. You made a lot of money in retirement accounts. You used each other's retirement accounts. You did a lot to help me because you paid some fees, and I like that too. We all working together. So really, really, really appreciate what you guys did for Quest in 2018. Can you hear me back there, Ron? Is it okay? You ain't getting a check. So disclaimer, Quest doesn't sell anything. We don't do any due diligence. The way that we make our money is transactional fees as things occur. Everyone understand that, right? And we make money when you guys do good real estate deals. Here's a hint. We also make money when you guys do bad real estate deals. We're legally obligated to process all transactions that are vested correctly. Everyone understand that. Do your own due diligence. And understand Quest doesn't sell anything or anything else. We're just here. So what I hope to teach you in about 15 minutes, because I think that you guys have heard all of this stuff before, and I really wanted to come out here mostly to thank you and give you some stuff, but it's how to use self-directed IRAs to buy accounts. I think most of you guys know that, don't you? You can take your retirement account and buy real estate. You can take your retirement account and loan it to somebody. Does anyone in here not know that? Okay, I didn't think so. Okay, but I think where a lot of you guys miss it is how to use other people's IRAs to fund your transactions. 64% of all the investments that occur at Quest are loans. Everyone got that? Most of my clients are not buying real estate. Most of my clients are lending money to you, and private money should be one of your big tools in your toolbox as a real estate investor. You should be able to at any time walk up to any property and buy it at any time, and if not, you haven't attended enough Quest education. So again, a self-directed IRA really isn't a type of IRA at all. It's really just a marketing term. A lot of people think that, oh, I want a self-directed IRA. No, that's not really true. That's just how we describe ourselves. The difference between an IRA with Quest and an IRA with someone like Charles Schwab or Fidelity is they hold publicly traded assets, and we hold private assets. They're licensed securities agents. They're licensed to sell you investments. We're not. Why? And so here's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this, or the biggest mistake people make with self-directed IRAs is they move all their money over, or they want to borrow someone's money, and they tell them that they have to close down their account with Edward Jones or whatever, and move everything over to Quest. Well, the problem with it is the cash just sits there. It doesn't earn any money. The idea really is to have an account at both places and move the money back and forth as needed. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Because if it's an IRA to IRA transfer, we can move it as many times as we want, and that's okay. So you do the normal stuff with them, and you do the weird stuff with us, and you only move over what you need. This is so important because I see some of you screw up deals. You're like asking someone, say, oh, you have to close down your account and do all this stuff. And they don't have to do all that. If you need $100,000 of their money, they just need to move over $100,000. Does that make sense? And when we're done, we'll move it back. And when we need it again, we can move it back again. That being said, you should be intimately knowledgeable as how long the different custodians take to move the money. All right? Because that's one of the biggest problems is how fast we can get money to fund. And some of them, like I talk about Charles Schwab a lot, they're really fast. Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Edward Jones, these guys are pretty quick. Sometimes I can get the money in 3-4 days, and usually I'm not closing that fast. But it takes at least that long to open title and stuff, right? Some of the institutions, I'm not going to mention names, but some of them could take 4 to 5 weeks. Wells Fargo, sorry, I had to sneeze. They can be very difficult, and you need to understand that as a timeline because it can mess up your deal. Is that fair enough? Just something to tell, right? So there's a lot of benefits to having a self-directed IRA. I love this one, diversification. You should have your portfolio diversified. I'm the worst at diversification. I don't do it. I'm really good at lending. I know how to do it, and I just lend over and over and over, and I like the above average interest rate. I'm just saying Nathan, but you know, I'm supposed to teach this, diversification. I really believe that if you're really good at something, just rinse and repeat will get you a lot further along than having shiny penny syndrome. I know a lot of people are different like that. But tax savings, guys, if you're spending your time, you came out here to the summit, you're spending time, you're learning to build wealth, you should also need to spend time learning about how to save money against taxes. It's part of the wealth building process. It's not the sexy part, I get it. You know what I mean? It's not as fun as learning how to take a dollar and make it worth $10,000 overnight. Things like that are much more fun, but learning how to keep it. Quest is one of those pieces to that puzzle that help you. It's not the whole puzzle. Everyone got that. As you develop your relationships with the different vendors, we're really just different tools in your toolbox that solve different problems. And so Quest is one of those that help. But it also allows you to invest. Anybody in here that is invested in the stock market with their retirement money is daft for the most part. I mean, you guys have been through some of the best training that you can have. You should be investing in real estate with it. Okay, I'm going to stop fussing at you, but. So if a self-directed IRA isn't a type of IRA, there's all types of IRAs, and this is one of the things that a lot of people miss. Traditional and Roth IRAs is what we see the most. Traditional IRAs is really where we start the thinking most of the time, because that's where most people's retirement account is. That's where your 401k or your 403, your 457 plan, whatever those types of plans that you had, those tax-deferred plans, when you've had separation of service, that's where your money will fall. Everyone follow that? Most of us consider the Roth IRA the most important. Why? Because you got Ron telling you damn well better get one. And he's right. Like a Roth IRA is a building block of building wealth. It is like owning your own personal property, having a retirement account or having a savings account. Having a Roth IRA is one of those pieces. A lot of people get confused. They thought that you made too much money, didn't have one. They weren't very available in the past, but there's all types of, anybody in this room can have a Roth IRA. I guarantee if you speak to the man over here in the gray coat, Keaton, he could find a way to get you a Roth IRA. And you don't need a lot of money in it. How much money does it take to buy a house? Right? Well, guess what? You need more than nothing, because you have to actually, when you're starting with an IRA, start with the contribution. But I see a lot of the students in LeGrand put only $10 contribution in, and they turn that into a big account by using all the principles and things that we made. There's not a lot amount that we need, right? So traditional and Roth IRAs can be self-directed. Everybody you know in your family should have a Roth IRA, including you, your spouse, your children, and your grandchildren, if we can qualify them, and often we can figure out how to do that as well. But it is a learning block. It will also bring your family together to learn to invest in different things. It's one of the most powerful things. If anyone knows me personally, or a lot of people know me through my family, because my entire family is real estate investors, and this is what we do, and our retirement accounts kind of hold us or bring us together and do those different types of things. We can also self-direct specialty accounts like SEP IRAs, simple IRAs, and there's something called an individual or a solo 401k, which is probably the most powerful type of account that you can have out there in retirement things. It's also most dangerous. And I really get concerned with some people because there is a step with owning a 401k called legitimizing it. You have to do something to make sure that it's a legitimate 401k. And what happens is some people that are out there in the running around the market are selling 401ks without making sure you've made the step of legitimizing. And I've never seen more people have more problems with retirement accounts than missing this step. And why would they miss the step with you? They're selling you plan documents. That's their job. Just like I do, they're selling you something and they get paid for it, and they don't want to tell you something that's going to keep them from getting paid. And I'm being honest with you. Some of you in this room have a solo 401k, and it is not legitimized. There's this, if this person, I'm only probably talking to 5 people in the room. If you're one of those 5 people, there's a short-haired, there she is at the back of the room, Rebecca Miller. Short red hair at my booth. She's a 401k expert. She'd be happy to talk to you about how to legitimize your account. And I'm not even trying to sell you an account. I just want to make sure that you understand that you know how to legitimize your account so that it's properly used. Fair enough? for those 5. The rest of you just ignore the last 3 minutes of what I've been talking about, okay? But then there's specialty plans that will blow you away if you understand how to use them. There's a Coverdell education account and a health savings account. These are maybe some of the 2 most important accounts that a lot of the Ron LeGrand students miss. You can buy and sell houses to pay for your children's education, but more than that, you could also pay for current expenses like internet for your house, academic activities, all types of stuff can all be paid out of a Coverdell, and it can be paid completely tax-free. That's something that things. But one of the most important accounts that people overlook is something called a health savings account. Who's bought a house in their health savings account? Anyone in this room? Oh, got one person back there. Man, there's nothing more powerful than this account. You put the money in, you write it off your taxes. Then you can take your health account and use it to buy houses, and it grows completely tax-free. And when you take the money out, it comes out tax-free, right, for qualified medical expenses, which is super broad. That doesn't include your medical expenses, but the medical expenses for you, your spouse, and any dependents you have, and they include eyeglasses, dental, holistic medicine, acupuncture, massage. Anyone getting any of this stuff? Anyone buying eyeglasses in this room? And you're buying them with after-tax money, aren't you? Right? Money, you're paying twice for it when you could be using your skills as a real estate investor to buy this stuff completely tax-free and have tax-free money. And I'm going to tell you one other hint. Everybody's going to get sick and everybody's going to die. You guys realize that. It's not my plan, it's God's, right? All right? It's going to happen. Health savings account is just as vital as a piece of wealth building as a Roth IRA. Everybody should have one of these types of accounts, right? But what's amazing with these types of accounts, a lot of people miss, is that you can invest them individually. Like I could take my health savings account and have it go buy a house, or you could take the Ron LeGrand method, which is to develop the trust in there, and I could put several different IRAs into one trust. So I could have all my little accounts that I have in there, my Coverdell, my little Roth IRA that I have for little Joey, my other accounts. I could put them all into that one trust, and then they could be buying one house, and the money can automatically split up evenly between those accounts. What a great way, once again, to learn together as a family, to invest, but it's also a great way of how to deal with these little accounts. Sometimes they're a little bit more onerous. You don't want to be dealing with 15 little accounts. It's better to put them all together into one thing. Doesn't that make sense? And then just use that to churn money with, and then as we need it, we can dissolve and take care. So all the accounts can be self-directed either individually or we could partner them together. If you look at most of my personal investments, you'll see that they're partnered almost all the time. I partner my Roth IRA with my wife's Roth IRA, with my son's Roth IRA, and we give a loan. And a lot of people go, well, why do you do that, Nathan? Are you spreading the risk? And things, and all that stuff's true, but no, not at all. It usually works like this. One of y'all come up and said, hey, Nathan, I got a pretty good deal. I need $115,000. And I look at my IRA and I say, oh, I have 62 in cash, right? What do you got, son? He said, well, I got 15. Ma, what do you got in your IRA? You see what I'm saying? We're just trying to come up with the money to do the loan, and that allows us to keep the money flowing and everything else. It does spread out risk and other things as well, but I love partnering IRAs. And that's something that a lot of Ron LeGrand people miss, is they might have their Roth IRA, but they've missed this partnering their Roth IRA with their children's Roth IRA, with their wife's Roth IRA, and their Coverdell education accounts, right? What can you self-direct? I don't care, honestly. If you can take title to it, you can probably own it in your IRA. We have all types of weird stuff, like soy sauce companies, horse sperm. I mean, it doesn't matter. Most of it's real estate, because that's what I know about. That's what Quincy knows about. You know, we talk a lot about lending and stuff, but if you can take title to it, but there's a rocket ship. It's going to, special rocket ship. I had a bunch of retired NASA scientists start a company. They're going to they have a special ship that they're going to patent or something. I don't know. If you can buy it in your IRA. At Quest, we break it down into different categories. There's direct purchase of real estate. There's private entities, which is kind of the everything else bucket, but most of the time that's your commercial properties, like your LLCs, your joint ventures, trust, partnerships. So our trusts do fall into that. And then notes. Our largest category of investments are notes. Most of my clients loan money secured by real estate. Why do you think that is? It works. It's easy. And most of my clients are real estate investors, and even if they're active real estate investors, they often, like in this group, they'll be like, hey, I'll loan you money, pay me above average interest rate, maybe you can do a deal for me. We're scratching each other's needs by loaning money to each other. Does that make sense? It works often out there. That's one of the reasons why I also think that you should be very active in your local real estate club and have a good understanding about IRAs, because that's one of the biggest sources of private money, is knowing how to pull people into an IRA. You need to have an IRA specialist in your pocket. You really do. It's one of those tools that you have to have. Most of you get this. How do you do it? You stop by the table there, you open an account. That's name, rank, and serial number, right? You have to then fund that account. How do most people fund an account? Well, they maybe transfer money over from their existing IRA or from a 401k or a 403b. But honestly, most people just make a small contribution. It's really important this time of year, if you don't have a Roth IRA yet, to open one in these few months. Because there's two rules to having a Roth IRA, is you have to have one for 5 tax years before you can get your tax-free distributions. Well, if you open one today, what happens is we'll back that clock all the way up to January 1st of last year. So you got less than the 5 years, right? 4 years and 11 months left, or I'm sorry, 3 years and 11 months left. So it knocks off a year. Open an account, make a contribution. We locate an investment. Can you ask Quest what to invest with? No. I could talk hey, if I wanted to do this and I did this and this, I could talk about the education, what you could do, things, what would happen. If you did that, what would be the tax laws? Can I tell you what to do? Never, right? Can I tell you whether it's good or bad? No. And for the $100 a year that I collect from a lot of you, I don't even want to be involved with that, right? It's not coaching. That's what coaching's for. Coaching is to find the deals, locate the deals, do those. You don't find those there. You have to know what you invest with, right? You complete some forms. We post the thing. It's easy. It really, really is easy. This is where I think that a lot of people miss it, is what I call OPI, or other people's IRAs. If you're funding all of your deals simply with money out of your pocket, or going to the bank, or possibly buying subject to, you've missed a huge portion. You have to have the ability to walk up and purchase any property at any time. And do you think it's difficult? Do you think it's difficult to walk up to someone privately and say, hey, what's going on? Bob, how you doing? I found this house over here and I could use $162,000. You got it? Huh? You're damn right that's a hard conversation to have. It really is. And you should take some time to be prepared to have it. But there's some things to think about whenever you do this. I mean, if you're a real estate investor, in my opinion, you should always be looking for two things: deals and money, deals and money, deals and money. Don't you agree with that? What do you have to have first? You're wrong. Both at the same time, all the time. If I've got enough money, I'll find deals. If I have enough deals, I'll find money. Do you understand that? Deals and money, deals and money, and deals and money. But there is one thing that is significantly different between the two. As soon as I get done finding a deal, and I put it under contract, and I start working on it, you know what you better go out and do? Go find another one. You go out and find another one, and find it right now. Why? Because as soon as this deal's done, you're unemployed. Everyone got that? It's like the next deal is always more important than the deal you're working on once you get it going. Everyone follow? I mean, you got to pay attention to the details and the contracts and all that to make money, you know. But marketing. But investors are different. Most investors who loan you money will continue to loan you money again and again and again over a course of their lives. When you found one, you found one. So it's not like finding a deal. It's a little bit different. You have to actually take a little bit of time and develop a relationship with them. And that's a really important part of it. A good friend of mine, 11 years ago, he quit his job. He was a cop. He's a really good cop, by the way. The problem with being a really good cop is you get worse and worse clients. Any cops in here, you know what I'm talking about? It's like the better you get, the worse it gets. So it started to mess with his head, and he literally had to bail out. He says, I don't want to join corporate America. I've been a cop for all these years, and I don't want to sit behind a desk. I'll try being a real estate investor. Never done it before in his life. He got some coaching. He went to some things, and he started. 11 years later, very successful. We had looked up, and he had borrowed $39 million from my clients to buy properties. Total, if we added up all the loans, we got a new little system, I could put it in there, and it fed me out this report, and I was like, holy mother of Lord. He says, yeah, I've really done good. Now, this guy's good. He's really good. He buys really simple properties. He's got a machine, he's got his own crews. They go in there, and he's really good. He can turn and burn. I said, you must have thousands of lenders. He's like, no. You know how many lenders I have? I said, no, how many? He says, 7. It's the first 7 that I got. The first year that I started, I never needed them after that. I stopped looking for lenders. I said, really? They must be super, super rich. He says, no, I got 2 retired firemen, 2 retired policemen, and 3 engineers. They all had some retirement money. None of them were super rich. They're richer now. But what they would do is they'd loan me the money, and I'd fix up the house, and I'd get done, I'd pay them off, I'd ask them how they're doing, and I'd say, do you want to do it again? They'd say, yeah, I want to do it again. I got a little bit more money I didn't tell you about the first time. And we just, kept going and going, and it got to a point, honestly, now, rather than looking for lenders, I have to tell some of them that they might have to find another borrower because I can't keep up with their demands for me to lend. So take some time. One of the things that is important when you talk to a lender is there is no shortcuts on being a borrower if you're going to do private lending. You have to take care of your lender because your lender is going to take care of you for the rest of your life. Do you understand that? So don't shortcut it when you first meet them, especially. Use professionals. Use an attorney to draft the note and deed of trust if you're in deed of trust state or a mortgage. Don't use the title company attorneys. Use a private attorney so that they can feel comfortable in the event that something happens to you, they know where to go to do the foreclosure. Doesn't that make sense? You're like looking after their interests, like, hey, if something happens to me, no big deal. Don't worry about it. I've got an attorney. But there's something else you should have in your pocket, and it's an IRA specialist. Keaton, he's from Louisiana. Don't hold that against him, though I like to make fun of it. He's finishing up his certified IRA specialist. He just obtained his title. It takes about 4 years from the time they get out of college for me to do that. I teach them a whole bunch of stuff, right? A lot about real estate investing, but also a lot about IRAs because they got to put the 2 concepts together. If you guys walk up to someone and say, hey, man, you can take your retirement money and you can give it to me and it's really cool, that's not going to work, right? But you can walk up and say, hey, you know what I do with my retirement money is I like to loan it with loans secured about real estate. It really makes me feel good about myself. Instead of investing in nameless, faceless companies, I can see the real estate that I'm being done. And more than that, they're taking a blight in my community, a house that isn't very well made, and they're fixing it up. And the whole time I'm getting above average interest rate and I'm secured by real estate. And it provides me with wonderful returns, and I like that about my retirement. Would you like some information about that? Well, if you can, I'll tell you what I do is I talk to people at Quest. They show me all types of stuff. They're complete neutral third parties. They don't get a commission at all, right? They have no reason to tell you anything truth. Let's get one of them on the phone. They could tell you a little bit about it. And by the way, I'm an IRA. So, I am an investor myself. I just like to lend out my money from my retirement funds, and I borrow other people's funds, and I buy houses and fix them up. I might be one of your borrowers. Soft sell it. You got where I'm going with it? You just talk about the benefits, and you bring third-party professionals in. I always use, professional contractors. I always use an attorney to draft up the documents. I use professional property managers if I want a long-term thing, and I got an IRA specialist in my pocket. Do you got one of them in yours? It's a difference. And what will happen is Keaton will come in and close down your deal without even thinking about it, because it really is good for retirement accounts. And it's very easy for him to explain that to them because he's not the one trying to use their money. Does that make sense? You need that third-party interjection in there. Remember, there are trillions of dollars in retirement accounts. Americans are terrible savers. That's why most of America's account of money right now is located in retirement accounts. Most of the time when you're borrowing money from a retirement account. It's just via a bank. Cut the bank out. You could go directly and borrow money at anything you want. I know a lot of you guys have heard of us at Quest. And some of you have used us, and I think a lot of you enjoy it when you do use us. My staff is very, very friendly, right? They're very involved in your transaction. If you guys ever have a problem, you can call one of the IRA specialists. An IRA specialist at Quest is an officer of our company. They have full authority to go into any other department and help you get it out. But there's some things that you don't know. Me and my brother started Quest 17 years ago. It was an accident. Swear to God, it was an accident. We had a title company, a real estate law office, and we were real estate investors. That was our main thing. We had our own self-directed IRAs, but because the attorney's office and we did all types of weird stuff, people would ask us all types of weird things, and my brother got to kind of be known as the weird guy, right? Anyone that knows Quincy in the room? Is he not the weird guy? They're all nodding. Ask them. But so they told us, they're like, hey, you want to open a branch office because we'd like to have you. He thought they were joking. And he's like, yeah, the title company sucks right now. Everyone's blaming me for everything that's going on. He really thought they were joking. They showed up with all these lawyers. I think we bought our first franchise of Quest. It was in trust back then for $6,200. That's what it cost to open. But we made a decision when we opened that company is that we really didn't want to do it to make money. We thought that it would be great to have a company and expose ourselves to you guys, real estate investors. And we would learn about real estate investing from all different types of angles and would do more real estate investing, and that's how we would make our money. And over the last 17 years, that's what we've done. Well, some things that you need to know about Quest is we've always put everything we've made back into Quest. Matter of fact, all over the entire 17 years, over 97, almost 98% of all the money Quest ever made, we put back into the company of Quest. Quest itself is an employee-ran company. I run with complete open books. Every month, everybody who, not like the mailroom people, but if you manage anyone, you manage the front desk at Quest, you come into a financial meeting, you get a financial statement, and you get to see where all the money goes and what everybody makes. You think you could run your business like that? Right? Huh? It's a complete open book. So when you call up Quest and you find that their staff is friendly and they're invested in your happiness, it's because they really are. It is really, truly their company. They know that if it goes well, that it affects them. And as a result, Quest has grown tremendously, especially in the 9 years. But in the last 9 years, I've never raised a fee. I've never increased a fee at all. And I have the lowest account closing fees. A lot of my competitors will lure you in with the free account or something like that, but then it's $800-900 to close that account and get rid of them. I'd rather just give good customer service and keep you that way. Does that make more sense? To me, it does. I don't know. And also, there's sometimes that you do a deal and you don't have another deal. You need to move your money back over to your other custodian. You know, I don't want to. So most of the time, I don't even close. I have a small account closing fee. It's $150, and you got to be a real pain in the butt for me to actually charge you it. I got to not like you. So, I mean, that's true. That's something. And then we have huge education centers. We have an education centers in all the state places we're allowed right now. We are a Texas-based company, but we plan on opening both East and West Coast locations, as well as just for longer funding process. But we have tons of education, and the education's free for you, whether you're a client or not. And we have over 15 IRA specialists that you can pick up the phone, call, and involve them in your deals. That's their only job, is to answer questions and come out and put marketing events for you. So here's the deal. If you spend $100 and open an account, that's what it costs to open an account at Quest. It's $100. I'll give you unlimited accounts. That means I will give you an account for you, your spouse, your grandchildren, so you and anybody that's beneath you. Does that make sense? I'm not your brothers and sisters and that stuff. We're not going to extended family, all right? I have 87 nieces and nephews. We're not going down that direction, right? And that's not just today. That's 2 years from now, you find out that your son starts working and he can now have eligible for a Roth IRA. You can get that account for free. Does that sound pretty good? Here's the next thing. Also, if you open an account and you put a transfer in it by March 1st, in other words, we move some money from a different custodian, I'll give you a $50 credit towards fees. So I'll give you $50 or $100 back. Here's the next thing. If you open an account before 3:30 today by stopping by, just picking up one of those little pamphlets, taking 2 seconds to fill it out, I will not charge you the $100. And I will still keep you the unlimited accounts, and I will give you the $50 back. So I am paying you $50 and giving you unlimited accounts to open accounts today. Does that sound fair? Why would I do that? Because you know what? I don't make my money off of selling you accounts. We make our money by people having an account with us. They have a piece of real estate in it, and they pay year after year after year after year off of fees. I'm looking for relationships with people who actually do deals. And $37 million worth of deals last year is a lot of deals. Ron LeGrand's doing something right. I know because I can see it behind the scenes. Guess what? I talk about a lot of these gurus, and they all talk about all the stuff they do, but I actually see it. They don't all do it. A lot of them talk about it, but they don't always do it. I can't tell you who they are, but it's not Ron. So some other things here. So Nathan, you must charge outrageous fees. Come on, guys. Honestly, most people at Quest pay less than a few $100s a year in fees. It's really inexpensive. Let me explain to you. There's 3 different fee schedules. There's what we call a flat fee. That's this one up here. It's $295. So if you have one asset, and that asset's $1 million, you have one trust that's got $500,000 in it, you have to pay a flat fee of $295 a year to do that. Everyone follow that? The second one, this one over here, it's based off of how much money in the account. So if I had 2 trusts, it would cost $600. Everyone follow? If I had 3 trusts, over here, it's based off of the total value of the account. And if you have a little account, see this $5,000 and below, it's only $24.75 a quarter, or $99 a year. So for most people, most of the Ron LeGrand students, what we're doing is we're buying debt leverage property. If I buy a $100,000 property, but I put $100 down on it, how much is the account worth? $100. Everyone follow me? Not the $100,000 property. So a lot of times you can get by as little as $99 a year. Now I have this third program here, which is the Gold Family Program. This almost makes sense for nobody. It really does. It's $2,400 flat fee a year, and you never pay anything again for you or any of your relatives. Do you realize you would have to have a lot of accounts to make that make sense? Everyone follow that? How about this? I have one last special offer. I will give you my Gold Family Plan, which will pay you for everything completely free for 6 months if you do one thing. If you transfer me an asset from an existing custodian, you had I'm not going to mention names, Equity Trust. If you had an account with one of those other guys and you have an asset in it, I realize something. It's going to cost you money to move that asset. You're going to maybe have to get a deed to retitle it if it's a deed. We might need an allonge if it's a note or something to retitle it. And they might hit you with an account closing fee. So to offset that, because I'm not looking to have relationships right now, I'm trying to build relationships that last a lifetime. I'll give you that Gold Family Plan. You could get addicted to the customer service that Quest has. You can get addicted to my IRA specialists that know all types of stuff and that are really smart, even if they're from Louisiana sometimes. Thanks. If you guys don't think think I'm smart, go out there and speak to Rebecca Miller, the red-headed girl. She is the youngest certified IRA specialist in the country. She started working for me when she was 17, and I honestly don't know a harder working, smarter young person in my life. Am I wrong, Keaton? And she's super pleasant, too. I don't know how she does it all. I'm pretty sure she poops rainbows. All right? What I need you to do to be able to take advantage of these is go over there, pick up. There's one of these fee schedules in there. There's going to be what's called an account application. Typically, what you're going to do is just mark Roth IRA. And what we'll do is we'll get a little information from you, and then we'll call you to make sure that this is the right type of account. You don't have to spend all day at the booth trying to figure out all the different stuff. Everyone follow that? You just fill out name, rank, and serial number on this form. Give Becca a copy of your driver's license. There is a page to tell you who gets it when you die. And that's really, really important because this does supersede your will and probate. But you're probably not going to have all that information. Just fill out what you can, and we'll get the rest with the phone call. Does that make sense? And is that fair? All right. So that's really all I have. My biggest thing, I just wanted to thank you guys for all the things that you've done for Quest over the many, many years. I started my relationship with Ron almost a decade ago, and it's grown, and it's been really, really good for all of us. If you ever have a problem, I'm a little bit hard to get on the phone, but my personal assistant's name is Ruby Gonzalez, and that's my email. I will answer it. If you're having a problem, call me.